Welcome to the show, my man. It's been a while since we had you on.
Yeah, no, man. It's great to be back. And thanks again for having us. I mean, Steve, apparently locked up some car trouble, but he's going to get here as fast as he can. Hopefully he doesn't miss the action.
Yeah, I mean, at least it happened where it's not snowing out, so that's good. So we got a couple of questions for you that are all, pretty much going to lead into, why you left JCW. But, let's get to kind of the beginning. How long did you work for JCW?
We were on every single one of JCW shows since the start of November of last year. When they first started coming back, we were with them every show. Danny told us you guys are on every show from here on out. So we were the steady workhorses there.
Okay. Now, prior to winning the titles at that show in Union, how would you say your relationship was with the promoter, the president of the company, Ricky O?
The day of the Union show, which was October 24th, going into the show, things were normal. Things were as they always were. We didn't have any problem going on in our mind. However, as the night went on, things got a little more hostile, you could say. Ricky was in a bad mood, and I'm not sure whether he was arguing with DeMonto or arguing with whoever. But either way, he was in a bad mood. And me, Steve, and also Glitz and Glamour, we call a lot of heat for that. And and I'll get into more detail later. But basically, as the night went on, things got worse and worse, and and that led to the last show they had, the 21st, which was in Howell, and that was our last show with them.
Right. That's, you guys dropped the titles to Darling and what the hell? Andretti of the Players Club, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew there was some, I was at that Union show. That was my last show. I'm probably some of that aggravation and hostility towards the end of that show was probably caused by me. So I'm sorry for that.
Nah, it's perfectly fine, man. You did us a favor in the end.
Yeah, but it kind of sucks that somebody's in a bad mood. It might have anything and nothing to do with you guys, and it got whatever, it got taken out on you. Or I've always said, and I've said this to you guys. I've said it to Sterling and Foster. Myself, I know JT agrees, and I know Nick agrees that you guys were the two best entertaining tag teams that JCW had in the little more than a year and a half we were attending shows.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You guys worked well together, and I'm not even just saying you and your partner. I'm just saying you and Glitz and Glamour when you guys were in the ring together. You guys worked very well together. I mean, it was, everybody botches every now and then, but if you guys did, it was not like noticeable. Like, nobody in the front row was yelling you fucked up or anything like that. It was, you guys worked very well together. I don't know if it was just because you guys discuss things in the back, or maybe you guys actually give a crap about your craft, or but if you ask Foster, he don't give a shit, so he don't give a crap about wrestling. I think he just does it so he can say he does cardio after he smokes a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, that could definitely be the reason. He just says, I did something today. I can go back and smoke and drink some coffee.
Yeah, but he's a champ now. He won a championship. He beat Frankie Flo, so now I got to listen to him run his mouth how he's a heavyweight champion. He weighs $180, but he's the heavyweight champion.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. We were backstage when he won that, and the first thing he comes over to us, he's like, "Oh God, wrestling is dead." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Jarrett Foster won the heavyweight championship." I'm like, "Oh my!" I started laughing. I'm like, "It's kind of funny." I'm like, "But honestly, he deserves it. He's worked really hard at everything he's done, and he's a professional at it. He really does well. The crowd is always into it when he's there. And I mean, he really deserves the championship, And I think the company relies on him a lot for a lot of things, and he's nothing but pull through. He's definitely a reliable person to have the belt.
He's entertaining. I can tell you that right now. He makes he's the ultimate heel. He he gets under the skin of the fans, and with his shut ups and his flaunting and his and his ring gear. I mean, he's pretty funny.
Nah, he's a guy you love to cheer against. He really is. You love to boo him, and the crowd has so much fun with him, and he has so much fun with them as well. And it's just a connection, and it really flows so well. It's one word I could think of. It's like magic. He goes out there, and it's fun every time. There's never a bad point where like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, legitimately, I hope he's not in the ring anymore. Like, no, you're sitting there, you're engaged the whole time. Right. He does a phenomenal job of engaging the crowd, and it's always fun. Like, how do you not want to tell Jarrett Foster to shut up? And he does nothing wrong to do than say right back to you.
Nick, you got any questions?
Yeah, going back to the Union show real quick, what do you think really led up to all the turmoil and all the heat that came off of that show?
What led up to it, I think, aside from us, would be the fact that because Danny and Ricky always argue together, and they would always, bicker back and forth about what he thought should be done, what really should have been done. I mean, it was like a bunch of little kids. They would argue all the time. And I think a lot of that was just, because and then they would lose money on shows, obviously. Some bills wouldn't fill out the way they would hope to, which is like any independent company. That's just the up and downs of the business. But I think that night was just a culmination of the fact that, that that the show didn't sell as much as they hoped to. They had hoped to get some stuff out of Damage Radio, and they didn't get that what they wanted to. Ricky wanted an angle done with us and Glitz and Glamour that was never made clear to us. So that didn't get done what he wanted to get done. And, it was a mix of things that kind of led up to it. And the fact that he didn't want us winning the belts that night, the Monto did, and so that was an argument in itself. And then the fact that our match got changed 13 times, and then it finally was just like, screw him, fuck it, just give him the belts. And it was just like, I think he was so fed up with a lot of crap, and it was like a culmination of that night that led to like, the perfect disaster, a perfect storm.
It didn't help that they were also coming from Chiller, so they had that stress of driving from the convention to Union and trying to make sure they got there on time. They were toting Brodus Clay with them. And Brodus Clay, I don't know what it is with him. He just doesn't have the appeal or the selling attraction that you think he would have. Him being the friendly dancing dinosaur for WWE, and all the kids loved him. And then you just go to the shows, and the kids don't really give a crap that he's even there. And my gripe with that show was, and I think the number one problem that caused the lack of money coming in for Brodus Clay, was they allowed Brodus Clay to sit out the pre-show. He didn't even sign autographs. And number two, they allowed him to have a match right before intermission. Anybody who wanted a picture or a photo with him or of him now got a free shot to take a picture of him in the ring with Steve Monster Mac. Take as many pictures as you want for free. So why at intermission 20 minutes later you're going to pay $30 to have your picture taken with him? So,
oh yeah, it makes no sense. I know I would be the same way if I had my camera. I'd be like, look, I'd be taking as many pictures as I can. Especially you said they're for free. Why wouldn't you? And then not only that, it's not even like it's later on or like a long time from now, or if the pictures didn't come out well. The building is small, so the pictures are going to be right up, in close person. And then they said 20 minutes later they were selling it. It wasn't even like they gave it time to break. It was like 20 minutes later. It's like, dude, I just saw this guy wrestle. I saw my picture, like the last picture on my phone or camera.
I think that was one of the big financial issues, and I think they knew they were going to lose. They were losing money with Brodus, and I think that was a frustrating part, is that they were in a no-win situation, and they tried to spin it into a winning situation for them, and it kind of backfired because I wasn't going to play that game of gullible idiot. So unfortunately, yeah.
If you look at their point of view of it, I can understand them trying to do it. I said it's not the right thing to do by any means. Like I said, they were losing money, and like I said, independent wrestling as a whole, it's not you don't really get into it for the money. You know, it's hard to make a lot of money. It's hard. You know, shows are going to go up and down like a roller coaster. It's very hard. You know, and the fact that they, you know, the part that bothers me the most is that they would try to screw over, or they try to, you know, get guys that are their guys. Those are friends and, you know, so-called family on JCW. You guys are at every show, promoted them for free, mentioned them on the radio show and this, that, and the other thing. You know, me, Steve, and Steven and Jared were there all the time. You know, it's like, so you try to go against the guys that are, it's like biting the hand that feeds you. It's like, we're here busting our butt for you. We're here trying very hard. You know, you guys are always doing something for them, and then why would you screw those guys over? Like, I don't understand the you know, the logic behind that.
Yeah, and then the going back in the locker room and you know, complaining and telling everybody that we screwed them out of money and the dollar amount.
Yeah, he came up to me and said, "Oh, your buddies from Damage aren't going to be here anymore." Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, what happened? You know, and in my mind, I'm like, dude, Damage has always been here. Like, what the hell could have happened? And he said, oh, they tried to steal money from us, several $100s. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, Kevin's not like that. There's no way. I'm like, you know, and then I said, when I actually ran into you that one time at the store, I was like, thank God, I wanted to hear the actual story. And when you told me the actual story, I'm like, well, no, that had to be it. I'm like, there's no way you would steal money from them. I said, the story made no sense to me, and that's why I was happy I found out the real story from you. You know, unfortunately, weeks later, but.
Look, if we were going to steal money, we wouldn't have stayed there for the main event and watched the match. We would have hightailed it out of there. That's one.
Exactly. You don't go back to the scene of the crime. That's
right.
You know. That's,
Two. It was three different amounts. The actual amount, which I didn't say at the first show that we did, it was a difference of $550. He said $700 to you, and he told other people, including Sarge, the referee, $1,000. So it was like every 5 minutes the number changed. It's like, look, you can say whatever number you want, you can change it whatever way you want, but you're not going to ruin my credibility, you know, over a miscommunication, which I'll sit here and I'll admit was a miscommunication. And I spoke to him and Danny, and I told them both, you guys want to sit down civilly and have a conversation and pan it out, even if we leave that room agreeing to disagree, at least it's done in a civil and mature way, but you're not going to bully me into thinking what you're thinking and me giving you money.
No, there's so many better ways to go about everything. I mean, the whole world and business as a whole, it's all about communication. It's about talking to somebody. You know, if you're in a bad situation, you talk to your friends. You know, everybody knows that. But if something really went wrong, they could have said, hey, look, man, let me talk to you. We'll see if we can help you. See if we can help each other out. I'm more than sure if they came to you guys and approached you in a better way, you know, I'm pretty sure you guys maybe would have helped them out a little bit, or, you know, maybe not being the whole thing, maybe a little bit, just because we work together as a team. You know, it's a team effort. And the JCW locker room, especially in the last, you know, few months we've been there, it's not a team effort anymore, you know? And it's like, and without a team effort, how do you expect the company or the wrestlers or anybody who works in any part of the company, how do you expect them to all come together and drive forward? Like, what's the goal we're all working for? If your goal is to make money off your best friend and rip him off, okay, well then what's this guy's goal? His goal is to wrestle. Okay, this guy's goal is just to show up for fun. Like, you have so many different goals in mind, and if no one here is going for the same reason, it's gonna be sporadic, you know? And as captain of the ship, Danny or Ricky, whoever captains the ship, they have to steer the ship where it's got to go. You know, if the leaders are you know, running around without a head, or, like, you know, then what is the rest of the people supposed to do? You know?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we're not there to make money. You know, us selling wrestling cards for $1 is not going to sit. We're not getting rich quick. We'll put it that way. You know.
No, exactly. Not even close.
We set up a table. We'll put our banner out there, because people know that if you want to listen to the radio show the Sunday after that JCW show, we're going to be talking about JCW, and we're going to be talking about JCW every week leading up to the next show. We're going to interview guys on the radio that have to do with that show so they could promo it. We interview people at the show, whether it's JCW talent or outside talent, because that's what we do. And we don't get nothing back for it. We get no kickback. We pay out of pocket for our T-shirts, our lanyards, you know, all our clerical paperwork and, you know, photocopy. All that stuff comes out of our pocket. We don't have any sponsors. We don't have anybody helping us financially, and that's the way we wanted it for a little bit until we were able to make a name for ourselves. Then we'll worry about